Hey folks, it's winter time. Going to divert away from the cars for this episode, just because this is a fairly interesting situation. I got called upon to work on this furnace. The blower is making a horrible noise, and had to determine what the actual problem was. I've ruled out the motor. The motor seems fine, and that just leaves the blower drum, squirrel cage, goes by several different names, may have broken loose. First, I want to do a quick shout out to the website We Supply Trades. I had a hard time finding this part, this blower drum, and they had it in, not only listed, but they had it in stock on hand. Excellent price. Had it in 2 days. They're not a paid sponsor. They didn't give me any kind of a discount or anything, but when I opened the box, they gave me a free hat. And you know what? I'm an easy lay. So because of this free hat, they get a big shout out. If you need a part, look at them, give them a try. Okay, so let me show you what I found on this furnace and show you what you can do to try to determine if this is the problem on your furnace. Now on this furnace here, this is a what is it? Comfort Air Patriot 80. This particular model is the OUFB 125-D5. So what I'm going to what you're going to see in this video, it pertains to this particular model. Your model can be very, or probably will be very different. This one's real easy to work on. I just took out 2 screws here, and then this whole unit slides out. There's wires that I'm going to have to unhook when I actually do the repair. But what I want to do, I'm going to show you how to diagnose your problem. What you're going to need to do is you're going to have to access the drum for your blower. Now looking at it, I cannot find anything wrong with this thing at all. A little bit of play in that motor is fine. That's typical of a sleeve bearing motor. But what we're going to do is we are going to put a mark on here. And if you suspect that maybe the fan blades have broken loose from here, we're going to do the same thing down here. Make a big mark there and see what we get. Now my next step is I'm going to push this back in, and I'm going to turn this furnace on, and then you'll be able to hear what I hear. The sound is fairly distinct. If you hear that sound, it's a pretty good chance that it's not the motor, and it's in fact the squirrel cage has broken loose. So let's do that now. I'm going to turn it on now and realize that the camera is probably going to compress the sound a little bit. So what you hear in this video is probably about 50 times worse in person. It basically sounds like, in the house, it sounds like there's an earthquake going on. So, okay, I actually have the heat turned off. This is just the blower fan turned on. Well, that's enough of that. All right, let's see the test results here. Oh, would you look at that? It barely moved, just a little bit. But, see that line there? Let's see where its corresponding hash mark is. There it is, right there. So, it's actually the outer fan blades are spinning, and I was getting that suspicion because you can see the little notches. I don't know if I can zoom in on that for you. If you can see that, there's little notches where these fan blades were originally sitting, and actually, oh well, yeah, actually, when I first diagnosed it, it wasn't that loose. Mind you that it is 28 degrees outside, so sometimes this furnace had to be run, even if it was at setting at 50 degrees setting. So that's the problem. There's no fixing that. We know that for sure. So had to buy the new part. And for me, for removal, it's going to start with removing the bolt that holds the squirrel cage to the center shaft of the motor. Then I'll flip it over and I'll remove these 4 bolts. Unplug the capacitor. I'll discharge the capacitor by putting an insulated screwdriver across the 2 terminals. Be careful with that. That can give you one hell of a shock. Then I'll be able to lift this out of here. Then I'll have to remove this cover, and I'll be able to lift the squirrel cage out of there. Once again, this is only for this particular model of furnace. You could have a different model, same brand, or you could have a Carrier or any of the other brands that are out there, and it could be very, very different, and it can be a major job just to reach the blower on your particular model. This one's a high boy. Fortunately, fairly easy to repair. I got everything together, motors in place, etc. Final step will be tightening the bolt on your center shaft. Now, there's a flat spot on the center shaft. You want to make sure that bolt is on that flat spot. And before you tighten that down, you're going to want to make sure that this, I'm trying to slide it and show it, but it's not cooperating. You're going to make sure that the drum is centered side to side. You can just eyeball it up, or if you want to, you could take a little ruler and measure from one side to the other and make sure it's centered in there. Once that is centered, crank that bolt down real tight onto the drive shaft. Okay, I'm going to do that now, and then I'm going to install it and we're going to test it. Okay, I have not tested it out yet, so we are all going to find out at the same time. Oh yeah, hasn't been that quiet in years. So this is a success. Now, let me show you how bad this is. Now, when I diagnosed it 2 days ago, it wasn't anything like this, as far as I could tell on the air conditioner. And it had just gone bad the day before. So even with the thermostat set at like 50 degrees, as little as it's turned on, it wore itself out that much more. So, well, this repair is done, successful. If you like this video, please like, share, and of course, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.